What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a Hasbro Star Wars Vintage Collection Market Update. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I usually do. I'm going to organize it by, first I'm going to show a few errors. I'm going to show you a few graded items. And then we're going to do up, down, or flat. Up, down, or flat. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you some recent sales. And I'm going to group them by items that in my opinion, are going up in price right now. Items that are relatively flat versus past sales, and then items that are going down. So I think it's kind of a little bit maybe more of an interesting trend to look at and kind of group them that way, and you know, especially if what I talk about are characters or card backs that you are actively looking for. So it'll give you just a sense of what I'm seeing in the market in terms of up, down, or flat in terms of the price for those items. And for those of you watching, I would appreciate comments below on whether you agree or disagree with me. I'm open to hearing everyone else and what they have to say about it. Some of them are obvious based on some of the recent videos I've done. Some of them may not be, but would love to hear also about what you guys have been picking up lately. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and thanks again to my Patreon supporters. But let's go ahead and dig right in. We've got a few really interesting errors that sold here over the last day or two. And the first is one that we've talked about, and it's been a while since we talked about this one, but this is VC186, the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. And this is the one without the Wookiee braids. And if you guys remember, this thing got up to a crazy price. It got up to like $450 or something idiotic, in my opinion. That one was just crazy. And then it slowly came back down as more and more of these kind of surfaced. But then there weren't any more. You know, there weren't really any more showing up of these missing Wookiee braids around Boba Fett's, you know, shoulder. And so this one got listed at auction, and I was really curious to see what it would sell for, and it actually sold for quite a bit. So this was a no Wookiee braids error, and it was at auction. It sold for $224.72 on 20 bids, and with $5 shipping. Now the interesting thing is it was two bidders. I'm going to pull up the bid history on it, and it's hard to tell based on this, but it looks like really there was just two big boy bidders that were kind of duking it out almost from the very beginning. So about $75 on, these two bidders were bidding it up against each other pretty heavily, and that really drove the price up. So that's all it takes sometimes for some of these off the wall items to really jump up in price is two bidders that really want it bad, and that seems to be the case with this one. But anyway, $225 was what took that one home, and again, that's higher than where I've seen them sell. They got down to kind of $100, $115, maybe even below $100, and then it's been creeping back up because I think people realize, well, maybe it's not that common because there hasn't been any for sale. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting error. Another one is one that I've got in my collection. Another one of these came up. This is the ARC Trooper Echo on the Off-World Jawa card back, the Mandalorian card back. And again, this one was also in the UK. So every single one of these factory error miscards with the Echo on the Jawa card back has come from the UK. So they must have just gotten a wild batch of these. And I've lost count of how many there are, but I would estimate probably in that 16 to 20 range of these have turned up now. And this one was listed at 350 pounds, and it sold. So 350 pounds took that one home. That's approximately $480 US. So that is another data point for those of you still looking for that one. And just another kind of miscard. And I've got a few of these Boba Canadian offers that have the Boba error. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, so Boba Fett is misspelled on the offer sticker or offer label, and so these only appeared on to my knowledge, only on the Canadian card backs. And so this is the AT-AT commander with that Boba error, and that was at auction. It sold last night for $122 on 9 bids plus $20 shipping, so let's call it about $142 for that error. And it was not by any means perfect. It had a little bit of wear right above the hang tab. But I do love these. I don't own any of these, but it had a little bit of edge wear on the back there, as you can see in that lower right-hand corner. But pretty cool to see that one. Now, the one I was watching and I really wanted was this one. This is the Boba Fett on the Hasbro Canada card back with the Boba Error for the rocket firing Fett. So This is one I'd love to have in my collection, and the condition of this one was in great shape. It was really nice, and I thought the price was pretty fair overall. It sold for about $200 US, and it was free shipping also. So I probably should have bought this one. It was I had it in my cart. I had it in my cart when it first got listed, and I said, you know what, I can't do it right now. I can't take any more action figures right now. I've got a bunch coming from Big Bad Toy Store, some of the gaming greats and things like that. So I decided that I needed a break on the vintage collection with some of the stuff I've got coming. So anyway, this one did sell. It sold it pretty quick too. It sold about a day or so, and it was really nice. But yeah, it's that Boba on the Hasbro Canada card back with the Boba misspelling. So that is the error batch of items I wanted to show you. There were a couple of graded items, and now I would classify the slave Leia, the Princess Leia in her slave outfit. I would classify her under the going up category right now. She has just continued to shock me with how much she's accelerating in price. Now this is the one that has the prototype Fett offer and the paperwork inside the blister, obviously, and this is on the Return of the Jedi card back, and this one was graded uncirculated 9.25 by AFA, so gold label, really nice example. And it was at auction. It sold yesterday. It sold at $567 on 29 bids plus shipping. So that's a big number, but she is definitely on the way up right now, VC64. So for those of you still on the hunt for her, be prepared to pay a lot of money for a high grade one. Now again, this is graded, but ungraded, I mean, it's still very regularly selling above $300. So I would aim for that slightly under $300 price point for a near mint plus example of this. If you're still on the hunt. Another one that I would classify as going up right now is Yotta. This is VC20 Revenge of the Sith, and this one was a really nice example, graded uncirculated 9.0. That sold for $202, which is pretty high. I mean, I've seen ungraded in near mint condition unpunched going for $100 to $120 pretty regularly, so people were willing to pay up for the uncirculated AFA graded example. But I definitely classify even just the regular version of VC20 Yotta, not the Canadian card back that is highly desirable and very expensive. Even the standard retail Revenge of the Sith version is on the way up. Now let's dig into a few that are on the way down, in my opinion. And this one is one that, of course, I've talked about and I've preached patience. And for those of you who were patient, I think you've been rewarded because the price has come down quite a bit. It was at $250 for Antok Merrick's X-Wing Fighter, and it's all the way down now to about $150. So this one sold $132.50 plus $15 shipping, so about $150. So it's still, I think hopefully there's still a little bit of room to come down here, but I think with shipping costs for an item this big, I would assume that $120 to $150 is about the minimum you're going to have to pay to buy this on eBay right now, if you don't see one in Target yourself. So another one is definitely on the way down. Now this one didn't sell, and I wanted to point that one out. This is a U.S. card, unpunched Ahsoka, and it looked to be pretty immaculate. It had one little tiny ding at the very top of the card back here. You can see it right above to the left of the hang punch. It's a very, very faint kind of ding there. But it looked otherwise pretty immaculate, and this one did not sell. It was listed at $500 with free shipping. So Ahsoka VC102, we all know that Hasbro just announced they're reissuing her with photoreal, and I just had a long video about it and how I think it's going to go down. Now this one did not sell at $500. There was a lot of watchers, and I think we're going to see this one get closer to $300 even for an unpunched example. Very soon. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Here is a Canadian version. This one was punched, but I bought mine Canadian Ahsoka, and mine was also punched. I want to say I paid $313, somewhere in that ballpark, and this one just sold. It looked to be in pretty similar condition to mine, maybe just slightly less, but probably like an 85 or 85 plus condition. It had just the slightest edge wear. But that still sold $324 US plus $24 shipping, so about $350. So that's come way down, even with the slight defects that this one had. That 6 months ago, gosh, I mean, you've probably been paying closer to $400 to even $425 for this item. So it's come way down, and I think it's still the trend for Ahsoka is on the way down. And for those of you that absolutely have to have the first issue of Ahsoka as part of your collection, I preach patience on that one as well. I think that we'll still continue to see her come down a little bit, and you know, where the floor is, I don't know, but I think that 300 to 350 range is going to be the floor for the U.S. card, and maybe in that same ballpark for the Canadian card back. So I don't know how. I don't know, you know, if this was punched, if this Canadian card was punched, what the price would have been. I would have guessed it would have been closer to 500 for an unpunched example. I haven't seen many of those. I've only seen a couple just on Facebook and things like that. But my gut says that it would have been significantly higher for this auction price. But that one just ended today on November 1st, and I wanted to include that. A few others on the way down, in my opinion, in terms of trend, was this one. This is VC68, and a really nice unpunched Rebel Soldier in the Echo Base battle gear. This one had the prototype Boba Fett offer. That one sold for $100 with free shipping, and that's down a little bit. That's probably down 20% or more from some of the peaks that we saw for that version of the Rebel Soldier. And the Canadian card back with the multi-language name pill, that does go quite a bit higher, but this US card was very consistently selling for $120 plus, so that one is definitely seems to be on the way down a little bit. Another one that's definitely on the way down is this one, VC115, Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath. This one I'd like to get in my collection, and it got up close. I mean, it was in the 250s, even as high as $300 for a real nice clean example, and this one sold for $170 with free shipping. So I would definitely classify this one on the way down, and it's been consistently coming down. It was very regularly in the 200s, and now it's very regularly under 200. So I think if this one's on your want list, I would start considering adding this one to your watch list here soon, because that price is getting pretty attractive for the Emperor's Wrath Darth Vader. Another one that seems to be maybe a little bit flat. I don't know if I'd classify this one as going down. This is more flat, but this is Fiek Search. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this one sold at $112.50. Unpunched example, really nice, offerless. That one sold yesterday on 5 bids, $112.50. I think that's pretty flat. It might be a little bit down, but not significantly. But I would classify this one as one that a TVC 1.0 that's kind of flat right now. Another one that seems to be pretty flat is Luke Skywalker Dagobah Landing. It got up there for a little while there, closer to $200, but it's been pretty flat. This one sold for $155. This one had the dark blue saber variation. VC44 Luke Skywalker Dagobah Landing, but it's been pretty consistent now in that 150 to 160 range for a number of auctions I've looked at. So that's another one I would probably consider picking up here soon, because it jumped way up and then it's kind of now flattened off. Another one that's pretty flat is VC99 Nicto. You know, for a while there it was about 100, and then it jumped up to, you know, about this price point of 128 to 128, 130. I haven't seen much movement off of that top level price point for Nicto, the skiff car. This is the one that has the Darth Maul offer, but this one was sold for 128 plus $10 shipping on 16 bids that sold yesterday. So it's been pretty consistent at that 130 level. So I think about picking that one up if that's one you're looking for. In terms of items that maybe are on the way up, this is one that I consider on the upswing for some reason. I don't know why. This is VC41. This is the Revenge of the Jedi Stormtrooper. This is the retail release with the Boba Fett offer. I mean, gosh, for months now, you could pick this up for 50 to 60 bucks, and this one sold for $110 on free shipping. And it wasn't like this was a, you know, one case of an anxious buyer. I've seen 2 or 3 now of these Stormtrooper, Revenge of the Jedi Stormtroopers selling for $100 plus now. So that's about double where it's been for several months. Another one that's on the upswing and very obvious. This is Numb. This is an offer list. I don't know if I've even seen one with an offer sticker on there, but Numb. This is an unpunched, really nice example. This one sold for $165 US or 120 pounds. Very consistently on the upswing for Numb. You know, for a while it was about 100 to 110, 120, but it seems like more and more now Numb is starting to hit 150 and above. Another one that's on the upswing is this one. This is the 501st Legion Clone Trooper. Obviously, Hasbro announced that they're going to be reissuing this one, but I guess they're going to be, updating the helmet and so forth. And this one sold for $155 on 7 bids, plus $10 shipping. But that one definitely seems to be on the upswing for the original issue Clone Trooper before that new one gets released. Another one that I'm not too surprised at as to why it's on the upswing. This is the Shore Trooper, the carbonized version, the Walmart exclusive. I just did a video on this one. I picked this one up. I love this figure. The paint apps are just amazing on it, and obviously it's on a Mandalorian card back, so it's kind of an alt card back versus the Rogue One card back. So I'm not too surprised, but this is selling for about double retail price now, maybe slightly below that. But this was sold at $30 plus on free shipping, and I found several that have all sold in that kind of $30 price point. So I'm not too surprised that the Shore Trooper, the carbonized Shore Trooper with the alt card back, is on the upswing. And then another one that doesn't terribly surprise me is this one. This is Antok Merrick. Just given that the factory damage that we've talked about in past videos, where you start to see the scratches on the left-hand side of the card back near the Aegis 4 Plus, or on the right-hand side of the hole punch on the card back, it just seems like when you get clean examples like this, you're going to be paying closer to $90 to $100. So this one did sell at $90, and it did have a light scratch there that looks unrelated to the packaging issues that we've seen for this Antok Merrick. But I think that you'll see more and more loose, out of the packaged, mint on card Antok Merricks, away from the Xbox, selling X-Wing, very consistently selling for that $90 and plus range for really clean examples. So anyway, I just thought that to provide a little bit of data here in terms of stuff that's flat and on the upswing and on the downswing. And unsurprisingly, VC102 Ahsoka is definitely on the downswing, and will be interesting to see what her floor is. And for collectors that were turned off by the super high prices for her, now that she seems to be dropping like a rock, we'll see what the floor is for her price point for near mint plus examples. So again, if you like this kind of information and price data, and you're new to the channel, welcome, and please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. And to my existing subscribers, be sure to leave a like and comment below with any thoughts on my flat versus up versus down price points, and if you agree or disagree. So thanks again, and I'll be back soon.